This video gives you an introduction to using Zotero, which is free software that's designed to create your own library of references. It's a great way to organize your references, which you can then use when you write up your dissertation or a research for publication. It allows you to insert references in the OSCOLA style using footnotes and creates a bibliography in the OSCOLA style. The video will show you the basics of creating a library of references from a number of different sources and using it with Word. Use the table of contents and the different bookmarking within the video to be able to jump to a specific section if you need to. First of all, create a free Zotero account from the zotero.org website. So once you've created your Zotero account, you can access and start creating your library on the Zotero website. You might need to log in to access this, or you simply use the web library link. There's also a client version of Zotero, which can be downloaded from the Zotero homepage on their website. So we recommend you install the desktop version on your device. It gives you a little bit of extra functionality. It also means the word processor plugins are installed automatically. The final thing to do as part of installing Zotero is to install the connector tool, which is a browser extension, and this simply allows you to import references from a database or from the web, such as Google Scholar, directly into your library of references. Zotero looks quite similar whether you're using the web version or the desktop version. This is a screenshot of the library that I have in Zotero in the desktop version. So in the middle panel we have the references that I've already imported in them, and if you click on one of the titles then you get the full bibliographic details displayed in a pane on the right hand side. So it's easy to go in and edit any of that data to make sure it's consistent, or you might need to add in specific data if it hasn't been imported automatically. In my library I've created 3 different collections. They look like a folder icon, and that's a good way to organize your references, just if you want to keep references within a particular topic or whether you're importing them from different sources. But there's a very powerful search feature in the search bar that will search across all the data that you've imported, including the full text of the PDFs. So that's a really useful tool when you might want to find specific references or quotes from the sources to be able to include them in your Word documents. So now you've installed Zotero on your own device. The next thing to do is to make sure it's compatible with the OSCOLA referencing style. This is so that when you insert references into a Word document, it formats it correctly. And it's a very simple process to do. So your word processor, for example, Word, will now have the Zotero options within that separate toolbar. You can insert citations, references from your library, and create a bibliography formatted in the style of OSCOLA. To be able to do this and use those tools for Zotero, you do need to have the Zotero database open. That's the client version, the desktop one, rather than the web version. In this example, I'm going to use the connector tool to add a reference to a book that I found in Library Search. Similarly, it's very easy to save a journal article reference to your library using the connector tool from any web page. In this example, I use the Zotero connector to save a number of different items from a Google Scholar search. Zotero offers an alternative way of adding items to your library using the Magic Wand tool. For this, you add in the identifier for the item. For books, this is the ISBN, and for journal articles, the DOI, or Digital Object Identifier. And you can do this in the web and the desktop versions. In this example, I use the export function to save details of a journal article to a file which I can import into Zotero. I also download the PDF of the journal article so I can add that into the Zotero library later. As the connector tool or the export function does not work well with the legal databases for cases and legislation, you can add these in manually. In this document, I've already added some references from my Zotero library and they've been formatted automatically as footnotes, and I can add a bibliography at the end of the document using the Zotero toolbar within Word. As you add more references from your Zotero library, the footnotes will automatically be renumbered and the bibliography reordered. And you can always click the refresh button to update the bibliography anytime.